Hi everybody and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
I'm Chicklin.
So Chicklin, what would you say is one of the most important pieces of technology you own?
Definitely my phone.
Your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I keep in touch with my family and I can play games when I'm bored. I can shop online when I get bored, when I don't want to do anything, when I just want to chill.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's possibly or definitely the most important technological item that I have. What about you?
I would go with my computer rather than my phone because my computer is what I would use for writing. I would use that for either work or my own stuff. It's got a DVD drive so I can watch movies on a bigger screen than my phone. I don't have a TV, so I've got to watch it on stuff. It's what I would use for Skyping with my family, and I can also save all my music and writing and everything else on there and on the extra hard drive. So I think I could go without a phone for a while, but without the computer, I would just be a bit sort of, oh no, all my stuff's gone.
Okay, yeah.
So that would be me. And where does that leave us with today's topic? Well, it's about a kind of technology, but not your phone or your computer or even your smart watch. It's another kind of smart product, clothes. Let's learn more by reading through today's article.
Reading.
Your clothes are about to get a lot smarter. Smart clothes are the next advanced technology. They feature smart devices built into traditional clothing, and this is why they provide so many functions. Many companies now offer a range of smart clothes, from sportswear to fashion items. The benefits of smart clothes are endless. They can help track your exercise and check your health. They can even take over some functions of your phone, such as making calls and playing your music. Keep reading to learn about some of our favorite smart clothes and how they can improve your life. If there's a kind of smart clothing that's a necessity for diabetics, it's Siren Socks. These socks use 6 small sensors to check each foot's temperature. This information can detect problems that could cause diabetics to lose their feet. They have been proven to be up to 87% effective, so you can rely on them. If you happen to be diabetic, they could save your feet.
So we begin by saying smart clothes are the next advanced technology. So by meaning the next, we mean kind of the next big thing, the next major change in our lives that's kind of coming and starting to appear and with more in development. And it's advanced. The word advanced means better than or improved on what we had before. So if you're at school and you're taking an advanced class, it's more difficult. The subjects have more details. They're more complicated. When we're talking technology, advanced means it's better, it's faster, it's more efficient, it's often smaller, and it's able to do more things. For example, we could say, this advanced smartphone holds a very powerful camera, yet is really small.
所以呢 advanced 就是先进的意思，那它也可以当高阶的或进阶的。老师刚刚有提到哦，那我们再看一个句子 If you want to take their advanced courses, you'll need to pass the written exam. 代表如果想要上他们高阶课程，你就要过了他们的考试。那我们文章的意思就是智慧衣是我们下一个先进技术。
So what are smart clothes? The article says they feature smart devices built into traditional clothing, and this is why they provide so many functions. We have a few things to look at here, starting with the word device. A device is a thing that does something. It's pretty much always something technological. It's related to technology, and it's been made by people. Or it could be talking about a thing that completes one or many functions. So it could be as simple as an alarm clock. That's a device, and all it does is ring when you want to wake up. But then we've got smartphones. They are very complicated devices that are basically like mini computers we carry around.
所以 device 就是有装置的意思，所以电子装置呢，我们就会在前面加一个电子的，它就是 electronic device。所以文章的意思就是这一些智慧衣，它们内建智能装置，在传统服装中，它们里面有内建装置，也就是为什么它们可以提供很多功能的原因哦。
We also said smart clothes feature devices built into clothes. Now, with this sentence, we're using a reduced relative clause as we've reduced that are built. So, smart devices that are built into clothes, we've just reduced it to built. We can do this with many sentences, cutting out the relative pronoun and the be verb, and it just makes it kind of easier to read, and the sentences kind of cut out words we don't need that much.
所以老师刚刚讲到就是关系子句简化成分词片语的意思。那么他们这个用法是用来修饰前面的名词，也就是先行词。那我们很简单哦，只要简化的步骤分成2个就好了。第一个就是删去当主词的关系代名词，像是 who 啊，或者是 which、that 等等等。那之后呢，再把动词改成分词就好了。那如果这边呢句子是进行式或者是主动语态，我们就要用成现在分词 be 动词加 VING， 然后删掉那个 be 动词，保留现在分词。那如果句子呢是属于被动语态的时候，我们就要删掉 be 动词，保留过去分词。我们直接看一下例句会比较清楚哦。比如说我们的文章中，老师刚刚提到 They feature smart devices that are built into traditional clothing 这一句呢，我们是直接把 that are 省略掉，所以可以变成 They feature smart devices built into traditional clothing and this is why they provide so many functions 这边我们就是删掉它的冠带 that 然后动词 built 它是被动语态，所以我们就保留过去分词。那我们另外2个例句，比如说 He gets on board a ship which heads for India 这边呢我们是出现主动语态，所以我们直接删去冠带 which 可以变成 heading 所以你就可以直接说 He gets on board a ship heading for India 或者是呢 The man who is speaking to the class is our principal这边呢因为是进行式，所以呢我们直接把 is 跟 who 拿掉变成 speaking 就好了，所以可以整句直接说 The man speaking to the class is our principal.
So that's quite the grammar lesson there. And we have another word to look at in the sentence, the noun clothing, which means all kinds of clothes, basically, anything we wear. We could say, for example, this store sells many items of clothing for both adults and children. Clothing is uncountable, so we don't say clothings.
所以这个就是衣服啊服装的总称，那老师有提到就是不可数，所以如果你要讲2件衣服，那你就可以说 two items of clothing。 那我们再造一个句子， Are you sure you want her advice on what to wear? She has terrible taste in clothing.
I'll get your advice then. So back to smart clothes, and we hear that many companies now offer a range of smart clothes, from sportswear to fashion items.And this phrase, a range of, means lots of different kinds.
所以如果你要强调很多很多，我们就可以直接说 a whole range of something or a wide range of something 代表一系列的各种的。
We also saw the word sportswear, which means casual clothes, basically the kinds of clothes you might wear for exercise, or the shirts that teams play sports in. So this could be everything from baseball shirts to running shoes. You know, Lonsdale would be one brand of sports clothing, casual clothing, or sportswear.
Yeah, 所以它就是休闲服的意思。这字其实蛮好记的，因为 sports 它有运动的意思嘛。那你运动当然是不会穿太正式的衣服。好，所以可以翻成休闲服的意思。所以现在很多公司呢都会提供一系列的智慧衣哦，从休闲服到时尚的衣服都是有的。
Next, the article says, the benefits of smart clothes are endless.
endless 就是好处非常多，因为它前面说 benefits 就是好处嘛 endless 就是不会停止的，所以代表智慧一的好处是非常多的。And let's learn about those. We see that in the next line. They can help track your exercise and check your health.So
that's kind of like a smartwatch. So to track means to follow something. Now, this could mean like following a person or an animal by looking at signs that they leave, but it could also mean, and does in this sentence, like watching a person's heart rate or other numbers related to our body as they change over time. They go up, they go down, and you kind of understand what that means. For example, you could say, my watch tracks how many steps I take every day and how many stairs I walk up.And
sometimes your phone does that too. You can download some apps.
Yeah, with an app that does that.
And then track 就是追踪，所以如果你要追踪到什么，其实我们可以再加一个 down， 比如说 to track something or someone down。比如说 they're trying to track down the source of the infection. 那这个字也是有名词的意思，它也可以当小径啊、赛道或者是轨道。那如果你要说追踪的话也是可以，通常我们会说 be on the track of something or someone. 比如说 they're on the track of the source of the infection. 所以文章就是说这个智慧一啊可以追踪你的运动跟健康。
So we're learning about the devices in smart clothing, and we also see they can even take over some functions of your phone, such as making calls and playing your music. To take over something means to do that job. Like if someone leaves, then another person will be hired by that company to take over that job. Or maybe someone's away on vacation, so another worker takes over that job for a week or so.
所以他就是有接手接管，所以我也可以讲啊 Mr. Miller will take over my duties while I'm away. 我不在的时候 Mr. Miller 会帮我做一些事情。那文章就是说呢，我们今天这个智慧仪可以帮你的手机做事情哦，比如说帮你打电话，帮你放音乐。
So the article has explained what smart clothes are, and now it's going to tell us about some. And this kind of reads like sales language, so imagine it's almost like an ad. It says, keep reading to learn about some of our favorite smart clothes and how they can improve your life.
听起来就很像广告，所以我们就继续读下去吧，看看哪些是我们最喜欢的智慧仪，以及它让我们的生活更便利。我们可以直接看下一句 If there's a kind of smart clothing that's a necessity for diabetics, it's Siren Socks.
Okay, if something is a necessity, it's needed. It's really important. You can't get by without it. I mean, of course, you can get by without smart socks. People did for years. So that you can see how this is marketing talk, sales talk to get you to buy it. However, some things really are a necessity, as in this sentence.If you live in Geelong, an umbrella is a necessity as it rains a lot.
所以老师刚刚讲到的这个 necessity 就是必需品。那我们也可以说你有必要做什么事情吗？我们英文就可以说 Is there any necessity to do something? 比如说有必要参加会议吗？你英文就可以讲 Is there any necessity to attend the meeting? 或者是呢 the necessity of something 或者是 doing something. 比如说你不要呢去低估正常运动的这个好处，比如说 never underestimate the necessity of regular exercise. And who might say these socks are a necessity?
Diabetics, or people with diabetes. And this is a disease in which your body stops making something that turns sugar into energy. Or it's a disease when your body stops using this chemical very well. It leads to high blood sugar and the failure of kidneys and other things.
Yeah, 所以它就是有糖尿病患者的意思。那 diabetic 这个字呢，其实也可以有当形容词，它就是患糖尿病的意思。那文章就是说，如果糖尿病患者需要某一种智慧仪，那就是 Siren Socks 这种东西。So how do these socks work?
We see that these socks use 6 small sensors to check each foot's temperature.A sensor is something that measures a particular value or senses when something happens. Motion sensors switch on when they sense movement. Temperature sensors find out how hot or cold something is.
所以它就是感应装置。那么这种袜子呢，它有6个很小的感应装置，它可以去感应我们每一只脚的温度。
And we see that this information can detect problems that could cause diabetics to lose their feet.
所以呢，我们就知道这个资讯呢，它可以侦测出问题哦。那什么样的问题呢？就是会导致糖尿病患者失去脚的这个问题。And we also learned that they have been proven to be up to 87% effective, so you can rely on them.
The word proven is the PP of prove. So if something is proved or proven to be something, we have some evidence that supports this claim or shows what something is or does without any doubt. There is proof, P-R-O-O-F, which is the noun form of prove. So we could say, these pills have been proven to get rid of your headache within 30 minutes.
Magic.OK, 所以 proof 就是证明的或结果式的意思。那文章中你看到的是被动式，代表被证明是什么。那我们这个字也会有一个片语，就是 prove oneself， 它会有一种证明自己能力的意思。比如说 after years of being put down, all he wanted to do was to prove himself. 那老师刚刚提到的名词就是直接把 VE 拿掉，便再加上 OF 变成 proof， 它就是证据的意思。And what has been proven about these socks?
Well, they're up to 87% effective. Up to means the highest amount that something can go to or have in it. Like a room could have up to 80 people in it. So 80 is okay, less than 80 is fine, but more than 80 is not.
Say up to something 就是多达或可高达的意思。那这些袜子呢，其实已经被证实高达 87% effective. And over here we have another word. What does it mean?
Yeah, this number is saying how effective something is. If something is effective, it works well. If it's 87% effective, it works most of the time, but not quite all of the time. Out of 100 people, it won't work or won't work quite well enough for 13 of those people. But 87% is a pretty strong, pretty high value. Here's another way we can use effective. The large meal I ate was an effective way to deal with my hunger. In other words, it worked.
所以这个字呢 effective 就是有效的或产生预期效果的意思。它的反义词很简单，只要加上 in 在前面就会变成 ineffective， 就是会有没有效果的意思。那这个字呢，它有一个名词哦，它讲的就是 effect。那有一个片语我们会说 to take effect， 就是有起作用的意思。比如说 How long does it take for these pills to take effect? My headache is killing me. 这些药多久才起作用？我头快要痛炸了。So if these socks work that well, we can rely on them.
That's right. And if you can rely on something, you can trust it to work. You can be sure that it will do the job.
Yeah, 所以 rely on something or someone 就是仰赖某人或某件事情哦。所以如果这些袜子这么有效的话，我们其实就可以依赖它的。
So this first part of the article finishes by saying, if you happen to be diabetic, they could save your feet. So marketing kind of stuff again. But so here we're using diabetic as the adjective to describe someone with diabetes. So it can work as a noun, a diabetic, or as an adjective, diabetic people. We also use the phrase happen to, which basically means if this situation applies to you.
Yeah, 所以 happen to 就是有恰巧啊或碰巧的意思。所以文章意思指的就是如果你恰巧是糖尿病患者的话，这些袜子可以救了你的脚哦。Life savers, right?
Right. And we're going to introduce some more smart clothes in part 2 of our article tomorrow. But right now, it's time for us to go to today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question is, how do you think smart technology can be used to improve our lives?
In every way possible to make our lives easier.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a lot of good stuff.
Do you have a robot vacuum?
I don't. My brother-in-law has one. We don't bother. But I suppose we've got a smart TV, or we had one, an Apple TV, so that meant we could watch stuff on a screen and use Netflix that way. I've got a smart watch, so that's kind of reminded me to be active, to walk a bit more, to go upstairs. So I suppose that's kind of helped. Obviously, smartphones, we know they're important.
Oh, I have a smart flask.
Oh, how does that work?
It tells you the temperature of the water inside, and it reminds you to stay hydrated if you forget to drink water, if you're too busy.
So it's going to warn you. It's almost like there's something out there called the Internet of Things, which is basically a lot of small things with devices kind of talking to each other. So your fridge could tell your phone, hey, I think there's a problem because the temperature is getting too hot in the fridge. Maybe you need to fix it. And you'll see that message at work and go, oh, I need to do something about that. It could be the air conditioner turning on just for a small moment to cool your house while you're out, just before you get home, so it's nice and cool. And that's all kind of Internet of Things, smart technology. And it just makes our lives more convenient. It makes things easier. And it can often sort of stop problems or warn you about problems before they happen.
So we're very lucky.
Yeah, kind of alert you to these things before they start to be really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll find out about some more kinds of smart technology, smart clothes tomorrow, but right now, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Advanced. Computers now are much more advanced than they were 30 years ago. Clothing. Tiffany packed warm clothing for her trip to Sweden. It's quite cold there in winter. Track. Kathy has been tracking climate change for 40 years in order to record its effects over time. Necessity. You can't go camping without certain necessities, like a tent and a sleeping bag. Prove. This news has been proven to be false, so Phil can't include it in his report. Effective. Drinking lots of water and getting rest is an effective way of fighting a cold.
智慧小补帖
Device. Sportswear. Diabetic. Sensor.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net